A main breaker is indeed required on a typical subpanel with more than 6 handles when it's fed from a delta Y transformer, according to the National Electrical Code, or NEC. Let's delve into the reasons and specific requirements that necessitate this. The NEC, which is the standard for safe electrical installations, mandates this requirement to ensure safety and proper protection of the electrical system. The main breaker serves several critical functions. Firstly, it provides overcurrent protection for the subpanel and the conductors feeding it. Secondly, it acts as a disconnect, allowing for safe isolation of the subpanel for maintenance or in emergency situations. Understanding the requirements for main breakers in subpanels is crucial for electrical safety and code compliance. We will explore the relevant sections of the NEC common scenarios where main breakers are required and best practices for installation. Let's look at overcurrent protection. The main breaker protects the subpanel and its branch circuits from overloads and short circuits. Overloads occur when the current flowing through a circuit exceeds its rated capacity, typically due to too many devices drawing power simultaneously. Short circuits, on the other hand, are unintended low-resistance paths that cause a sudden surge of current. Without proper overcurrent protection, these conditions can lead to overheating, insulation damage, and even electrical fires. The main breaker is sized to protect the conductors feeding the subpanel. Conductors have a specific ampacity, which is the maximum current they can safely carry. The breaker should be rated at or below the ampacity of the conductors to prevent them from overheating and potentially causing a fire. The NEC provides tables such as Table 310.15b16 to determine the ampacity of conductors based on their size, insulation type, and installation conditions. For example, if a subpanel is fed by number 6 AWG copper conductors with THHN insulation in a conduit, the ampacity is typically 55 amps. In this case, the main breaker should be rated at 55 amps or less. The main breaker also protects the branch circuits within the subpanel. Each branch circuit is designed to supply power to specific loads, such as lighting, receptacles, or appliances. These circuits are protected by individual circuit breakers that are sized to match the ampacity of the branch circuit conductors. The main breaker provides a backup level of protection in case of a fault on one of the branch circuits. If a branch circuit breaker fails to trip during an overcurrent event, the main breaker will trip, cutting off power to the entire subpanel. This prevents the overcurrent from spreading to other circuits and potentially causing more damage. Now let's review the disconnect function. The main breaker serves as a readily accessible means of disconnecting power to the entire subpanel. This is essential for safely performing maintenance or repairs on the subpanel or any of the connected circuits. Before working on any electrical equipment, it's crucial to de-energize the circuit to prevent electrical shock. The main breaker allows you to quickly and easily disconnect power to the entire subpanel, ensuring a safe working environment. The NEC requires that the disconnecting means be readily accessible. This means that the breaker should be located in a place where it can be easily reached without having to climb over obstacles or move equipment. The location of the main breaker should be clearly marked so that it can be quickly identified in an emergency. In addition to serving as a disconnect for maintenance, the main breaker can also be used to shut off power to the subpanel in an emergency situation such as a fire or flood. This can help to prevent further damage and protect people from electrical hazards. The NEC specifies requirements for the type of disconnecting means that can be used. Typically, a circuit breaker or a fused disconnect switch is used as the main breaker. The disconnecting means must be rated for the voltage and current of the subpanel. Now let's discuss NEC compliance. The NEC outlines specific requirements for subpanels, including the need for a main breaker in certain situations. Understanding and complying with these requirements is essential for ensuring the safety and legality of electrical installations. Article 408 of the NEC covers the requirements for switchboards, switchgear, and panel boards, including subpanels. This article specifies the conditions under which a main breaker is required. One key requirement is that if a subpanel contains more than 6 branch circuit overcurrent devices, a main breaker is required. This is to limit the number of individual breakers that need to be switched off to energize the subpanel. By having a single main breaker, it simplifies the process of disconnecting power and reduces the risk of accidentally leaving a circuit energized. The NEC also specifies requirements for the size and type of main breaker that must be used. The breaker must be rated for the voltage and current of the subpanel and must be suitable for the intended application. It's important to consult the NEC and local codes to determine the specific requirements for your installation. Failure to comply with the NEC can result in fines, legal penalties, and, more importantly, increase the risk of electrical hazard. Now, let's review delta Y transformers. The type of transformer feeding the subpanel can also influence the need for a main breaker. Delta Y transformers are commonly used in commercial and industrial applications to step down voltage from the utility supply to a lower voltage suitable for powering equipment and lighting. In a delta Y system, the secondary winding of the transformer is configured in a Y configuration, which provides a neutral point. This neutral point is typically grounded, providing a reference point for the electrical system. When a subpanel is fed from a delta Y transformer, the NEC typically requires a main breaker to provide overcurrent protection and a disconnecting means. The main breaker protects the subpanel from overcurrents originating from the transformer or the upstream electrical system. It also allows for safe isolation of the subpanel for maintenance or in emergency situations. The size of the main breaker should be coordinated with the transformer's overcurrent protection. The NEC provides guidelines for selecting the appropriate overcurrent protection for transformers, which should be followed to ensure proper coordination. Next, let's consider common scenarios. In residential applications, subpanels are commonly used to supply power to additions, detached garages, or other outbuildings. These subpanels typically require a main breaker to provide overcurrent protection and a disconnecting means. The main breaker is usually located in the subpanel itself and is sized to match the ampacity of the feeder conductors. In commercial and industrial applications, subpanels are often used to distribute power to different areas of a building or to specific equipment. These subpanels typically require a main breaker, especially if they contain more than 6 branch circuit overcurrent devices. A main breaker may be located in the subpanel or in a separate enclosure, depending on the design of the electrical system. In some cases, multiple subpanels may be fed from a single main panel board. In this situation, each subpanel should have its own main breaker to provide individual overcurrent protection and a disconnecting means. Now, let's discuss best practices for installation. When installing a subpanel with a main breaker, it's important to follow best practices to ensure safety and code compliance. Firstly, select the appropriate size and type of main breaker for the subpanel. The breaker should be rated for the voltage and current of the subpanel and should be suitable for the intended application. Consult the NEC and local codes to determine the specific requirements for your installation. Secondly, properly install the main breaker in the subpanel. The breaker should be securely mounted and connected to the feeder conductors. Ensure that all connections are tight and that the wiring is properly supported. Thirdly, label the main breaker clearly. The label should indicate the purpose of the breaker and the area or equipment that it serves. This will help to prevent confusion and ensure that the breaker can be quickly identified in an emergency. Fourthly, inspect the subpanel and main breaker regularly. Check for any signs of damage, overheating, or loose connections. If any problems are found, they should be corrected immediately. Fifthly, test the main breaker periodically to ensure that it is functioning properly. This can be done by using a test kit designed for circuit breakers. If the breaker fails to trip when tested, it should be replaced. Sixthly, document the installation. Keep records of the subpanel location, the size and type of main breaker, and the date of installation. This information will be helpful for future maintenance and repairs. Seventhly, ensure proper grounding and bonding. Grounding and bonding are essential for electrical safety. The subpanel should be properly grounded to provide a path for fault current to flow back to the source. Bonding is the process of connecting all metal parts of the electrical system together to create a low impedance path for fault current. Eighthly, use appropriate wiring methods. The wiring methods used to connect the subpanel to the feeder conductors should comply with the NEC. This includes using the correct type and size of conductors, using approved conduit or cable, and properly supporting the wiring. Ninthly, protect the subpanel from physical damage. The subpanel should be located in a place where it is protected from physical damage, such as impacts or water damage. If the subpanel is located in a damp or wet location, it should be installed in a waterproof enclosure. Tenthly, follow all applicable codes and standards. Electrical installations must comply with the NEC and local codes. It's important to consult these codes to ensure that your installation is safe and legal. In summary, a main breaker is typically required on a subpanel with more than 6 handles fed from a delta Y transformer to provide overcurrent protection, and a disconnecting means, in accordance with the NEC. Proper installation and adherence to code requirements are crucial for ensuring electrical safety.